Sri Annamalai is attempting, first internally, if I understand correctly, and for us it's to our teams, our employees, staff and so forth. But I imagine communicating this to your consumers is also not an easy task. And particularly in such a visible profession, where every word you say is scrutinized, there are a whole host of pundits who are analyzing it. Your head tilted this way gets interpreted a certain way, your frown gets interpreted a different way. How do you handle these in the external world?
One of the greatest of great politicians, in my personal opinion, Abraham Lincoln, sir, a great guy who really fought to take slavery out. The 13th Amendment, with a lot of effort, he brought to the American Constitution to bring that change, to abolish slavery, Emancipation Act. You all know, sir. But he didn't do it in one day. In fact, when the 13th Amendment got passed in the US, where the representatives were sitting, one person couldn't see what was happening because Lincoln was bribing people to get it done. And he's like, how can Lincoln do it? Such a great person, one of the greatest statesmen of our time. How can Lincoln do? Thaddeus Stephen, a representative, stood up. After the 13th Amendment got passed, he mentioned the word. He said, one of the greatest measure of the 19th century, passed by corruption, aided and abetted by the purest soul of America. I'm repeating it again, sir. One of the greatest measure of 19th century, which is abolishing slavery to say all are equal, men, women, black, white, all are equal. Abetted by corruption, because they've seen that 6 months what Lincoln has done to get people's vote. By that vote. Aided and abetted by the purest soul in America. So politics many a times is like that, sir. There is no direct correlation between good politics and good governance. There is no direct correlation. If you do good governance, doesn't mean it translates into good votes. It's not that. And that is where political leaders, some point of time, they become statesmen. When they, the transformational phase, Karmaveer Kamaraj Raya, Rajagopalachari, Rajaji Ayya, if you look M.G. Ramachandran Ayya, they transcend into that statesman thing because over a point of time, they become comfortable in communicating to the public at large. Of course, when we do this, there is pain. But as a society, we got to tolerate to move to the next level. So this is a bigger challenge, sir. Right now, it is all teethering problems. This will get solved in the next 5-10 years, sir. And second, with all humility, we have to understand this democracy is thousands of years old. And one Annamalai or one you or one somebody comes in, and there is no bandage fixed to it. Thousands of years old. By evolution, it has come to this level. And Athens, when the initial democracy was there, it was a show of hand. They said, if slaves raise your hand, I'll only count it as 1/3. You don't have land, you are not counted. That's how democracy started to make a decision. From there to come here, maybe 2,300 years now. If you look at democracy with all humility, we have to understand, sir, it is a natural evolution. And sometimes you cannot force it to people. You just cannot make something to happen tomorrow morning or day after. Unlike a business or a corporate or a startup, unlike that, especially in the politics, you got to have extreme patience. Extreme patience. Because when we say Modi ji is a great leader, till 51 years of age, he was not even a panchayat leader. We have to keep this in perspective. And 51 years he prepared himself. So he got a chance in 2001 October. So 51 years of preparation translated into 13 years of CMship. Then it is getting translated into 10 years plus of prime ministership. So he's 73. Modi ji is one guy in all the political thing. You go to America, they say 70 is old. There's two competition between two people, 83 and 79, to say who is more older. And suddenly they say you are younger, I am older. So here, if you look at one Indian politician who connects so much with the youngsters, it is Modi ji. That is always ahead of trend. What I'm trying to say, sir, you got to be very patient with the democracy. Many a times you get frustrated that you're not able to communicate and either you are wrong or somebody is wrong. And the easiest thing for a politician is to put the blame conveniently on the public to say, you don't deserve good leaders. And we have tried our best. Since you don't deserve, bye-bye. I'm going to go and do some other work. So this in an Indian democracy is not the right approach. We might get our chance maybe 10 years from now, maybe 7 years from now, maybe 20 years from now. But the work that goes in has to be process driven. So what we did in 2024 was a process driven, sir, which is very new to politics. Most of the things that we do, we said, look, for BJP to emerge as an alternate political order in Tamil Nadu, first we have to stand alone, number one. It's a process. Standing alone means you got to expand your breadth. So when BJP stood 23 seats in this Lok Sabha, sir, after 30 years, somebody in Lok Sabha got an opportunity to vote for Lotus.
Yeah.
In 30 years, BJP did not stand in Nagapattinam. 20 years, BJP did not stand in central Chennai.
Correct.
BJP did not stand in 16 out of 23 constituencies for 20 years.
Yeah.
So process driven. First go, put it. Don't worry. Results will come. Results will take care of itself. Second, process driven. To show that you are an alternate, say that we will not pay money for votes. Yeah. Second one you say. And again, don't worry about results. Results will invariably take care of itself. And don't worry about results. So this convincing is a problem. Because you have to convince. Because many a time in the battle, sir, the first guy who goes into a battle knows fully well he will get killed first.
Correct.
Because the elephant guy comes last. The horse guy comes before him. But it is that foot guy who marches with just a sword in hand and a spear in hand to say who is that. And this guy knows 80% is going to get killed. Correct. Because the spears are coming, the arrows are coming. And right now BJP Tamil Nadu is like that force which is traveling in the front. You got to take a lot of Brent. And for that, the mindset of a leader has to be different.
Yeah.
Because you are going to take the Brent, an ecosystem, 70 years, you are going, attack, personal attacks, all these things, navigating through it, sailing through it. Yeah. Then the next guy gets easier. But the question is how long the front guy will stand. So, sorry, I'm taking a long time again to answer each of the question. Yeah. So to answer it, sir, it's very tough because you are selling something, making people to believe inside the party, brothers and sisters, it is not going to happen tomorrow, not next year, not 6 months from now. It will happen, but let us be process driven, number one. Yeah. So you have to make them to buy. Second, in a process driven, winning and losing doesn't matter because you're trying to bring some change. Number three, you will take a lot of Brent, but still it's part of the job, you go through it. So this is very, very important for me to sell everywhere. So democracy is like that, have patience. Internally, people should buy it, prepare them for longer run. Even if it's a 10, 20 year process, prepare them. Because 1,000 years back, Rajaraja Cholan was there. Where is he now? Yeah. 1,000 years back. Great governance, fantastic irrigation system, canal system, administrative, the way he measured the land, the way he distributed revenue, everything is fantastic. But
global expansion.
Where is he now, sir? Even his last remains, we are not sure. And we have to do an X-ray to say whether he's in Udayalur, whether he's there, Nobody knows where is the last remain. So this is happening to one of the greatest of Tamil kings. 1,000 years before, 1,000 years later, you don't even know where he is. So democracy will teach you to be very humble at many points of time. Sir.
So in a sense, you're saying take the long view, persevere, be resilient, and growth will follow. I think Fiki Flo has done a great job of already getting the tagline in. No? Perseverance or persistence, resilience, and growth.
You're connecting it, sir, but you're very right, sir. The most important thing is teaching this to a young kid is very tough. Because what has happened, the environment has become so fast forward, result oriented. Even a child who goes to a school and we measure so much results today, results next month. In an app, they do daily. One school I thought daily they are grading a personality. I said, how can you grade a personality daily? And every day you open an app, they say, today's score of outwardness, today's score of emotional ability, today's score. And the 365th day is the net score of all this thing. I don't want to name a school. And somebody told me with a lot of pride, you see, there is a daily human ability calculator. I said, this is, people are taking it to an extreme nonsense. In the sense that daily I can assess your personality, give you a score, and 365 days is the net score. So teaching these kids, the great things have happened in our life only because of patience, sir. Some of the greatest things. If you look at any of the greatest inventions, if you look at any of the greatest path-breaking discovery, if you look at any of the fundamental shifts that has happened in our country economy, if you read it any history, patience is the underlying thing. Yeah. People were willing to fight, grind through and get it. So now to the young startup kids, I make it a point, sir, to invite myself to go to a startup event because to learn what is happening here. That's a different world to me to go and see. And when many people I ask, why are you doing this? They say, 3 years, the valuation will be good. 5 years, it will be billion. And that I approach because you cannot be in it for something to grow a revenue because you got to solve something which humanity should progress. Because, sir, 50 years from now, nobody is going to remember us. 100 years from now, we are swept away from the pages of history.
Yeah.
And 200 years from now, we are a small speck of dust somewhere in the grand universe. So, since we have one life, which is an average 75, 80 years, whatever that God has given us, take a bigger problem and solve it. And to solve a bigger problem, you need patience. And when you are inside, do a path-breaking discovery, solve some needy thing for me, for the person next to you, and solve something which people couldn't do it over the last 2,000 years. Why poor people still live in huts? Or can I build a 1 lakh house? We are waiting for some solution. Why every 2 years the road gets washed away? Can you put me one road which stands for 15 years? And why still corruption is a way of life? Can somebody in politics find a way to root out corruption?
Yeah.
So these things I think is worth dedicating our life to.
Sure.